What up, everyone? Back for another video. This time we got our monthly review. And I'm a little bit behind on the monthly review, mostly because I was waiting for all the boxes of the month to show up, and Loot Crate just never did. And here come the puppies to come ruin my video. They haven't been here the entire time, but now they feel the need to come wrestle directly behind me. Anyway, was waiting for Loot Crate, and it just never showed. They were already 6 months behind, and now they're taking like another 3-month break for whatever reason. So they're extraordinarily behind, and who knows if we're ever going to see them again. So I decided to stop waiting around and do it with the boxes I have. So we have 4 boxes here, so let's get into them. Woof! Quit it. First, Geek Fuel. So they recently switched from their t-shirt club back to the subscription box system, which I was excited about until I saw what was in it, and it's pretty much like a lateral move. It's not really better, and I don't really know why they did that. So let's take a look at the items, and it's going to be pretty much the same every time. We're getting a reaction figure. I don't know if we'll always get a reaction figure, but I imagine something along those lines. I've never been a fan of them. Even though Super 7 has them back again, they're a great company. They do good stuff, but their reaction figures are just so low in quality, and they're really expensive. It's kind of crazy. This one goes for around 18 to 20, but there was a few other options you could have got. But again, I'm just shocked that people are paying $20 for this. That just seems like so much. So I don't really get it. It's not really my favorite. I've never liked them, even when Funko had them. But there it is, and we'll probably see a lot more of them. Then we got a Universal Monsters small blind box figure, and this is also by Super 7, I believe. Yep. And I would like these as well because they look cool until you open it up and you realize it's not painted at all. It's just one solid color. If I can get close enough, maybe you can see. Yeah, good enough. They're just one solid color. I remember I bought the Peanuts ones they first had years and years ago, and then I opened it up and it was kind of disappointing when it's just like one solid color and there's no paint at all. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But these go for like $7 to $9. Not a lot, but it depends on what figure you got. Then last, we got a Mondo pin, and I got Beetlejuice this time around. I didn't get Beetlejuice, I got the character from Beetlejuice. I forget his name off the top of my head, but from Beetlejuice. And again, Mondo pins go for around $10 to $15, depending on who you got and what character family and all that jazz. But this seems to be the general format of it. Reaction figure, one other small item, and then a pin. And it's a nice pin, don't get me wrong. But before, it was very similar, where it was just, instead of a reaction figure, it was a t-shirt. Which seemed to make sense because, honestly, of all the subscription boxes, they had the best t-shirts. So I wasn't too disappointed to get their shirts. But they said they were going back to the subscription box. I thought they were going to go back to having it all. But instead, they just traded out the shirt for a reaction figure. And it's like, well, why? Why not just go back, have all that in there, and do like you did before? They have the items. You can check their site. They have t-shirts that are in theme. So why not do that? It seems weird to just take a random lateral move, even though they made good t-shirts. Why go to reaction figures? It just doesn't make any sense. It seems like it would be much cheaper for them to make their shirts than to buy reaction figures, but I don't know. This was once the best box ever, and now it's become one of the worst. So value-wise, on the low end, $35. On the high end, $44. So, you know, it's around a $25 box. It's better than we usually get on the value, to be perfectly honest, and it's okay. You get pretty close to like 50% more than you paid for, which is, you know, decent. It's just not a lot of variety, and the stuff in here is not great. So that being said, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, which, again, much higher than it's been getting lately, so that's kind of a bigger deal, but still not that great. And I do miss their shirts. I would have loved to have like a classic horror monster shirt from this company, because they always did such a good job on shirts. Alright, next, Marvel Collector Corps. And we got Across the Spider-Verse, which is kind of crazy. This is one of the only times I think we've gotten a box before the movie comes out. I've said this so many times, I wish the boxes would come before the movies, because the shirts in there, I always like to wear them to the preview, because I'm just that nerdy, and I'm the guy that wears a t-shirt to match what he's going to see. It's just something I like to do, but I never get to because they always come after the movie. And the shirts are often so specific that I really wouldn't wear it anywhere else, because they're not that great. So it's just something I would wear once to premiere and then just do whatever with it. But we got this before the movie comes out. I don't know what the release date is. I'm assuming December, but I can't remember when this is supposed to be released. But I'm glad that they're changing it up in that sense. So first, start with the small things. Got a little pin, Spider-Man 2099. I've always said 2099, by the way. People say 2099. That's just how I've always said it as a kid. When you're kids, you just read stuff. Like, you don't, like, hear the name ever. So me and my brother just said 2099. So I'm sure there's a right way and a wrong way. I don't know what it is. But here he is on a pin. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again. They should really put a backing on this. Simple backing would make it look so much nicer. But value-wise, that goes for somewhere between 7 and 13. It's such a wide range because it's listed for, one's listed for 7, but all the others are 13 and above. But no one's really paying for that. So if you wanted my honest value on it, it'd probably be around $8. But to be fair, it's between 7 and 13. Then we got a decal. Very simple. And I'm pretty sure that's a Miles Morales Spider-Man. And that goes for roughly $8. But again, no one's really paying that price. That's just what you would have to pay if you wanted one yourself. Then we got our shirt. And this shirt's actually pretty good. I love that new shirt smell. One of my favorite smells. So there's the shirt right there. And this one I actually kind of like. I've been saying for a while they need to mix it up and not always do the pop characters on there because it gets really old after a while. But you know, some characters look okay as a pop. For example, these ones. Normally the pop figures have those just like solid black eyes, but they didn't do that with the Spider-Man ones. They actually give them normal Spider-Man eyes. So they actually just kind of look like normal chibi characters. So, which just means they have really big heads, which I really like. That makes me happier because I'm so tired of seeing the pop characters on the t-shirts. They really need to mix it up, and this kind of does. I know that wasn't their intent to step away from the pop figure thing, but it kind of does that because it looks a little bit different. So I actually really like this one, and I'll wear it to the premiere. Didn't need one for that premiere because I have a million Spider-Man shirts. He's one of my favorites, but it's still a cool shirt and a decent quality too. So value-wise, it'll get the standard $12 to $15 value, but a score on that, I'm actually going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Funko has pretty decent quality shirts, and the design on it's pretty cool too, so not too bad. Then we got our two pop figures right here. So we got Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales Spider-Man, which is weird because I always called her Spider-Gwen, but then I recently found out they changed her name to Ghost Spider, and I thought that was weird. I thought she already had a name, and now we're seeing it back as Spider-Gwen. It's like, well, which is it? I like Spider-Gwen better, personally. I don't really like the name Ghost Spider. And then same with Miles Morales Spider-Man. They didn't put Miles Morales. They just put Spider-Man, which, again, is weird. They usually specify Miles Morales Spider-Man. But, you know, just minor stuff, no big deal. Value-wise on those, the Spider-Gwen goes for about $25 to $30, and the Miles Morales one goes for about $24 to $28. So pretty close in price, but I would say in general Spider-Gwen's a little bit more popular than Miles Morales, so like a $2 difference, no big deal. But they're great figures and they're exclusive, and that's pretty good value-wise. Usually when we get two, there's always one that's worth like 30 and the other one's worth like 15, but these both have decent value. That brings our value on the low end 76, on the high end 94. So that's pretty fantastic, actually. This is for me, it's about a $32 box. So even on the low end, we're getting double the value. On the high end, we're getting triple the value, which is pretty fantastic. So score-wise, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It would have gotten a little higher just for minor things. Like I said, they always do the pop tees. If they put a backing on the pin, these little tiny minor things. But, you know, they're still there. So not a perfect score, but still really, really fantastic. And everything in here was 100% exclusive. Good theme. For once, they didn't pick weird characters. They have such a habit of picking a theme and picking the most obscure characters to throw in there. And it's like, oh, that kind of sucks. So for once, they actually just did the main characters and did good ones. Great theme. Loved it all around, so much appreciated on that. Toss that back there. Next, the bandbox. And let's take a look at what we got in here. So this one we got John Morris, I believe his name was. He was the voice of Andy. I'm pretty sure through all the movies, because his voice did get deeper through the movies. So I think he was the voice of Andy through all the movies, and he's done a few other minor roles. Value-wise, is going for $25 to $30, which is very standard. Most often they're right around that $30 range, maybe a little less so. Right in line with what we should expect, and I think that's cool. I like the Toy Story movie, so it's something recognizable for me. that's something I'll definitely keep. Then we got a Duke Duel art print. I believe that's from Andor. I could be wrong. I haven't been keeping up with all the Star Wars episodes lately. But same thing as always. I mean, it looks decent. They're doing better at picking good artists. But value-wise, about $10. And again, that's what you'd have to pay if you wanted it, but no one's buying it. There's hundreds of listings. No one's buying any of them. So you could give it $10 value, but honestly, I think they need to switch out the artwork and start mixing it up with some other stuff, or just wait till they have better artists. It's getting kind of dreary with that. Then we got a pin. You have the option of either Joker or Harley. I got Harley. Value on that is $12 to $15. Again, very standard. Then we got these peeker stickers. I said it originally, I think we're going to be seeing these a lot, and I was right. So I think this is just going to be a regular thing where we get this peeker sticker. Why? I don't really know, but they're starting a thing, and this is that thing. This time we got Skeletor. It looks good. Like, it's a good sticker. Like, nothing wrong with it. And that's going for like 8 to 10, but once again, no one's paying that. People are listing it for that. If you wanted it, you'd have to pay that, but no one's selling it for it, so it's hard to give it that value, but I got to give it something, and that's it. Lastly, we do have the card packs in here, and I'm always torn whether or not to give this value. So let's talk about the value without that first. On the low end, 55. On the high end, 65. So incredibly low on the value, and keep in mind that those values are already overestimates, because I really don't think they're worth that altogether. So this time around, you're kind of barely getting what you paid for, maybe a little bit more. So if you do take the cards into consideration, I think a fair value, if you wanted to give it value, would be like $3 to $5. But again, that's pushing it, because more often than not, you're getting all common cards, and you have to trade in, I think it was like 16 to get a print. So I kind of did the math there, like how many you would have to get and what the prints are randomly worth. And then you do have the option to get rare cards, and sometimes they are actually starting to catch on and sell a little bit, which is good. I'm glad they're catching on. That's a good thing. But some of the rare ones do actually have some value. But again, odds of getting that. So I think 3 to 5 is fair. But again, that's kind of up to you whether you value that as well. So even with that in there, not much has changed. So for a score on this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Wasn't bad. You got what you paid for, plus a little more. I did like the autograph. The art print I almost never care about. It's usually pretty mundane. The pins are always nice, and then the sticker is a fucking sticker, who cares? So still good. It has a lot to offer, and it has variety and originality, but nothing that crazy or special. All right, our last box, Zobie, our bi-monthly box. We got a shirt, and Zobie is the worst with shirts. They are by far the worst. They always have the worst quality, and the designs are the worst. They're not that bad. They're not like they're horrible designs or anything like that, but they're just not that great either. And then again, they pick the cheapest quality shirts. They're so rough and itchy, and they don't really fit well. And then again, they got this bright red, like, look how bright this is. It's like brighter than the box. Like, that's fucking crazy. Who wants to wear a bright red shirt like this? Like, if someone's trying to pick you out in like a crowd of 1 million people, sure, wear this. But otherwise, like, it's just too bright. Do subtle colors. Tone it down. Pick nicer quality stuff. Mix up the designs a little. So, standard $12 to $15 value on the shirt. Score on the shirt, 4 out of 10. Which is almost always what this box gets, shirt-wise, because just nothing really special about them. Very cheap, very mundane. This looks like something like my grandfather would wear, which, you know, not a horrible thing, but I don't know. I just don't feel like they're trying hard at all on the shirts. And if you're not going to put effort into it, then why do it? Why not just do something else? It just seems like a very odd choice to me. So there's that. And then let's go to the autographs, or the only autograph. Vanessa Angel. So she's done a few things. She's not a super well-known actress. She's from Kingpin. She was also in a movie I really liked as a kid. It was called Kissing a Fool with David Schwimmer and Jim Lee. That was a movie I always liked. And she was in something else that I remember that I watched too. So again, not a major actress, but she's definitely been in something you've seen at some point. She was also in Stargate and a few other random things, so at least she's recognizable. Not super well known though. So value-wise on this, surprisingly, is going for like 45 to 50. There are a lot of listings for cheaper ones, but they're not authenticated, and I don't take those into consideration because they're probably real, but you just never know. So you need the authentication to have any sort of value and to be considered. And the only ones that are authenticated, especially ones that came in this box, were all listed for $45, $50, and up. They weren't always selling for that, but if you wanted it, that's what you have to pay. So, which is kind of surprising. It might just be because she's like just very attractive and people want her on their wall, but not really sure. So, there's that. Then we got a pin. This is from Pulp Fiction. Really nice pin. They did a good job, and they didn't pick some really weird, awkward pose for once. This is going for somewhere between 10 and 20, but depending on which one you got. But honestly, if I wanted to give it a fair value, I'd say 15. It's a really big pin. It's got a lot of detail. It's good quality, so I think a 15 is a fair amount for that. That's really what I'd put it at. Then we got a little keychain from Dazed and Confused, which is cool because I think one of these boxes gave us an autograph from one of the guys from Dazed and Confused, but nothing super special about it, just wood from the movie. No big deal. That goes for around 6 to 8. Again, no one's really paying that, but that's the price that people are charging. That being said, on the low end, 73. On the high end, 93. Pretty decent. As far as boxes go, price-wise, this is about around the same as Bambox. I think it's a little more expensive, but not much. So right around in that $40 to $50 range. So that being said, on the low end, you get almost 50% more. And on the high end, you're getting pretty close to double. Probably like, I don't know, 80% more or something like that. I like the autograph. The shirt was a piece of shit. The pin was great, and the keychain's cool too. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I try not to be too hard on them on the shirts just because over the years people have told me that some people actually do like that boxy design on shirts. I hate it. I wear fitted shirts, but some people do like it, so I try not to judge them too much on that. But the other things in there were great and all exclusive, so 7 out of 10 I think is pretty fair. Yeah, that's it. That went fairly quickly. Really cool. So the boxes of next month have pretty much already shown up, and we got some good stuff coming up, which is good. So we should have the other one pretty soon. Again, it's just been so crazy busy over here. I can barely find time to do anything these days. But I'd like to do more videos if possible. But at the very least, you will always get my monthly subscription box reviews. But as always, feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments. Anything, just about anything, collectibles, investments, anything you want to hear in the comments. Anything you want to see, anything you like, anything you don't like. All the usual shit down in the comments. So, other than that, thank you for watching and supporting. Wanna come up here? Come up. I might come over here. Come over here. There we go. Thank you for watching and supporting. Peace. Oh. Now here comes Woof. Hi, Woof. Hi, Woof Puff.